Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We are currently still in round one. A lot of round one matches still going, and some haven't even started yet, this being another one. But I'm happy to be seeing this. We do have Marshall going to be kicking it. This was one of the last guys to check in for the tournament. He thought he had missed it, but indeed he had not. We waited for just 30 more seconds for him to go ahead and sign in. But he's going to be taking on Greddy, a Zerg player here. Marshall going to be spawning as our red Protoss up here in the top right-hand corner. Down here in the bottom right, it is Greddy. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of pause action here. You got to love this serious pause action. Woohoo! Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's really good. Oh, we're back. Okay, cool. So we do have Greddy. He is kicking it down here in this bottom right-hand corner. Good map here, MLG's Tal'Darim Malter. We've seen some good matches so far on it in today's little tournament. Looks like for Marshall, we're going to see a Forge Fast expand. Now, Marshall, a highly ranked platinum level player, so in many respects, Marshall is one of those guys out there that is a favorite to win this. I am very familiar with his play style and the amount of work that he puts into StarCraft, and he's one of those guys that's really made a lot of progress in his game. It wasn't but a couple months ago that he was like a silver level player. He's really done a great job beefing up his strategies. He does a lot of work, a lot of practice, a lot of research, and tries to learn as much as he can. So he's a really fun player to watch. Looks like we're still having some trouble with Greddy's, what do you call it, connection. It's our favorite thing to do is to lag, right? Favorite thing. That's alright, we'll be okay. Marshall does scout his opponent here. Yeah, well, it's definitely lagging now. Definitely lagging now is what it is. Looks like Marshall going to evacuate his probe. He's content with the scouting that he's got so far. He does see a spawning pool going down, so knows to probably go check over here and get ready to block an expansion. Eventually, he can also set up shop in this position with a cannon of sorts. Ooh, going to go ahead and toss down a pylon here. Just wants to block it and evacuate here. Wants his probe back at the main, I assume. Back here at Greddy's base, the spawning pool going to be complete here in just a moment, which means we are going to have some lings out on the field. Is this wall off for Marshall going to go down in time? I assume that he will be just fine. Looks like his forge going to be completing here momentarily. Should see a cannon go down shortly thereafter. Either that or his Nexus. One of the two. Now, we talked about this a little bit last week, but when you're Forge Fast expanding, you don't want to overcommit to the number of cannons that you put down early. You want to get your Nexus down after one. Now notice that he is going ahead and tossing down his gateway. I think that he's already overcommitting a little bit to his wall end before he gets his Nexus. So I tend to like to see people either go Pylon Nexus or Pylon Forge Cannon Nexus. And don't mix in extra buildings and the like. So it's just one of those things. It's just kind of my personal preference, I guess, but that's what I usually see from our really high-level players is those types of builds, and the only time they ever go for Pylon, then Nexus, is when they're able to scout their opponent and know that they're not getting 6 pooled or 8 pooled or 10 pooled. And as long as that is not the case, then they are going to be okay. Looks like we do have one link cruising over here for Greddy. Is going to see a good solid tight wall in here. Marshall going to be rebuilding that into a cyber core, walling that sucker off tight. Not a bad little deal. He's going to go ahead and evacuate this probe to somewhere safe for now. He needs to go ahead and get down his Nexus, however. This is not really a Forge Fast Expand at this point. It is just a Forge Gateway Cyber Core opener. So it's okay. I mean, he's not doing a bad job. I'm just saying, you know, the point of a Forge Fast Expand is to get that solid economic base against a Zerg player. And so without the early Nexus, it doesn't really help you as much. I mean, this is a standard expansion timing, really, when it comes down to it. It's just a fast... It's not a fast expand. It's just a... what would you call it? It's just a quick expansion. So he's not waiting the full 7 minutes or so. So a good low wall in, though. Looks like he is going to be hiding some tech, probably in this position here. I think is a great place to hide it. My guess is, because he's going to hide it here, is it's going to be Stargates. Now back here at Greddy's base, we do have his expand up and running in phenomenal time. We do have extractors going down, so he's going to be picking up a good deal of gas. Interesting. Hasn't got his metabolic speed boost quite yet. He's been working on his economy. Units tab going to show that he is, however, behind in the harvester count. 26 drones to 29 probes. So regardless of Marshall's kind of interesting Forge Fast Expand or slow Forge Fast Expand, he has still got an economic lead here until just now. Greddy just now taking the lead there. Pretty good. Greddy going to be cruising back here, playing a defensive position. Spinecrawler going down here for static defense. Appears to be in pretty good time. Back here at Marshall's base, he's going to be picking up some upgrades. Nice. Weapons level 1 is on the way. We've got that another photon cannon going down, so I was wrong. He's not going to be hiding tech here. He's just putting down extra cannons at this position. So interested to see if he's going to choose some new tech. He does have his Twilight Council out, but nothing from it quite yet. Going to get down some more gateways. Always can use those. Those always come in pretty dang handy. Now we do have a third going down for Greddy. He did bust down these rocks. Marshall does see this. He could go ahead and toss down a pylon back here behind this mineral line and some cannons. I think is probably a good idea to go ahead and do that. But looks like Greddy going to scout this guy. Too bad. And Marshall going to have to lose that poor little probe. If you're active with him, you can get it done. But that's okay. Looks like he's going to be okay. It's just one probe down. No big deal. Units tab showing 41 probes to 48 drones. So Greddy still maintaining a small lead there. Not a bad little deal. Now, still no new tech out of Marshall. He does have that Twilight Council going completely unused at this point. I guess he could go for straight for weapons level 2. That would be considered a use of it. But it doesn't seem like the best use of it. Looks like some more gateways going to be going down here for Marshall. It's going to make 7. Good old-fashioned warp gates. Oh, blink is what he's going for. Cool, cool. So some blink action will be coming our way. We have a Zergling cruising up here just to gather a little bit of intel. Does see double photon cannons there. We should have seen the third, actually. Who's picking up the kills? Looks like this guy. This guy's got 2 kills. The baller photon cannon. He's like, man, you guys suck. I got more kills. That's right. No, it's not a race, Mr. Cannon, okay? Just relax. This is a team game, at least for you guys. You're on the same team as these guys right here. So now that we got him in line, we'll get back into this. Looks like Marshall going to be hiding his DT shrine in kind of an interesting location. It's relatively close to his opponent's base, but quite frankly is not much closer than if he had just put it right here. But it's kind of an interesting spot. It probably won't get scouted there, at least for a little while. DT Shrine, though. DTs will be out on the field. Not a bad little play. Let's just check in on our units tab. 60 drones to 57 probes. So pretty good economies here from both players. Notice that we do have a Spire going down for Greddy. Where is he putting it? There it is, right there. We found it. And looks like a Marshall just gearing up. Oh, Greddy lagging for us just a little bit. He is going to be running a changeling around his opponent's base. There is no army out on this field. Now the scary part here for Marshall is that he's not going to have tons of defense at his mineral line for the Mutalisk Harass. And that is being revealed here by Greddy. Greddy just checking everything out, checking all of his attack paths for his Mutalisks, and he is going to be producing them here very, very shortly. Now the DT Shrine is complete. Where's our DTs? Where are they? We've got to have some eventually. Do have a hidden third going down here from Marshall. Kind of a fun location for it. See if that's going to get scouted. Now we've got plenty of detection here in Greddy's army, so the DTs are going to have a good hard time getting past this army. Of course, they are moving out a little bit. And that may open it up a little. Looks like Greddy going to be going for a 4th base here. Oops, let's go ahead and reply to this guy. Here comes Warp In. There are a whole bunch of Dark Templar in the mix here, but here comes your detection. That is going to make these guys a little bit less effective. Indeed, they are now all dead. Too bad here for Marshall. Now, Greddy in phenomenal shape. Notice he's got 156 supply to 74, 2x that of Marshall. Marshall gotta be careful now. He just hasn't been staying on top of his warp-ins. Notice he's floating a heck of a lot of minerals, heck of a lot of gas, and way too many to be honest. Looks like we could probably see some more upgrades. Indeed, looks like armor level 1 going to be going down. I was about to say weapons, but it is armor. Looks like Marshall could gear up for some, another expansion. He does have this hidden one up and running in pretty decent time, but man, he's just got so many minerals. As Protoss, you just got to stay on top of your warp-ins the entire time. If you're not warping in, it does tend to work against you. And now Marshall in this kind of sticky position where Muta Harass is going to be going down. It's not going to be any fun to deal with. He's going to have to split his army up and such as that. And he's going to have to get a lot of stalkers out to make that happen. So kind of has to react at this point. He doesn't get to drive this game any longer. He's trying to drive it with his DTs. It just didn't work out the way that he wanted. And now Greddy in the driver's seat. He is going to be making it happen. He can do just about anything he wants at this point. Does have his 4th base up and running. Looks like he's probably going to get a queen out here, get some more drones to this position, but we're going to have a big attack here at the back. Marshall not going to be able to get out of his base here. That's an unfortunate part of his wall off here. Looks like Marshall going to get some help from Greddy here. Greddy is going to go ahead and help him get this wall broken down just a little bit so he'll have easier access in and out of his base. He does have a small window there, but doesn't really want to send these guys out. Now he gets to send them out. We do have some Archons out on the field here momentarily. Muta's back here doing a heck of a lot of work, taking out the entire mineral line here at the main. That is going to put Marshall back down to 2 mining base. Now he's got pretty decent defenses here, but Greddy still with 2x the supply count of his opponent here, and that is no fun at all. Here come your Mutas. Looks like the Mutas going to evacuate. A couple of them will die, but not very many. Not enough. That's the real clincher here, is that it's just not enough damage here for Marshall. He's really got to consider beefing up his production capability or something. I don't know. I mean, what do you do at this point when you're that far behind? So I mean, he's just got to warp in a bunch of units, but now he's in this position where he feels like he's got to work on his economy at the same time, and that's kind of no fun. So he still could go break down these rocks. I think it's time for him to go ahead and take an expand, even though it's probably not economically feasible. You just sort of have to. You got to be prepared, because this natural here not going to last forever. Don't want to get stuck on one mining base in this position. Blinking forward here, a lot of damage being dealt here from Marshall. He does have +2 attack on these guys. +1 here on the Roaches. The Roaches are going to go down. Are we going to get all of these Mutas, though, as well? Looks like it. Nice play here from Marshall. Marshall going to be cruising forward with a pretty substantial force. Now, the question is, can he do enough damage to make this push worth it? He's going to have to do economic damage, I feel, here at this point. Got to put our Greddy back into a position where he feels like he's got to re-macro up, build more drones and the like. Going to be cruising forward here, but here's a bunch of Roaches to do some defense. A couple blinks being utilized here, it appears. DT moving in there, but there is that detection out on the field, so the DT's not going to be super effective. All our Archons are gone. Roaches cruising forward here, going to be focusing down those Immortals and now working on these Stalkers. The Stalker's going to have a lot of trouble with this many Roaches here. They do have +2 complete on these guys now. +2 flyer attack going to be complete here momentarily as well. And Greddy holding that off in phenomenal style. Notice that Marshall down to 59 supplies is absolutely brutal. Greddy gearing up to take down this win, it appears, and looks like he is cruising out across the map with these units right here, right now. I think he is going to be able to take this down as long as he has some detection with him. Should be able to make this happen. No matter what, I mean, if he pushes right now with this large force, I just don't think Marshall's going to be able to hold. Just don't think it's possible at this point. Even though he does have that hidden base, it is really helping him out, but just didn't have the army soon enough in this matchup, and now all of his army is going down here extremely quickly. pylon going to be going down, and this is his main mining base at this point, and it does not look to be in good shape. Probes trying to transfer. Looks like they're going to try and get in on the fight. They evaporate. Oh my goodness, it looked like steam as quickly as they disappeared. Whew, gone. Just like that. Looks like a bunch of buildings about to be unpowered here. Nice snipe there from Greddy. Knows exactly what to do. All those chronos there from Marshall not going to be helpful any longer. Production capability almost zero at this point. And Marshall, we can expect to see a GG from this guy here fairly shortly. Greddy showing a lot of strength, and there it is indeed, GG from Marshall. Greddy with the GG right back at him. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Don't alt tab. Always alt StarCraft. We will see you guys in our next game.